everybody. Okay, I think that's good. Wow. How long has it been? Years, right? Just kidding. It's me, Fiery Grace the Gifted. I'm so glad so many of you have already joined this live. This is amazing. I miss you guys. I have had such a busy month. June was so crazy, and I really was not able to go live very often. So it's just been, I don't know, I keep missing you guys so much. I almost went live this weekend and I had several emergency readings come up. Well, not call, were emergency calls. So I'm just so blessed and excited to be here. This reading, and if you're new to my channel, I'm just going to warn you now. You might want to ask about me in the chat. I love you. I'm very loving. Oh my gosh, is that a donation? What up, Kim? What up, Kim? Diamond? Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Kim. That's dope. Oh my gosh, just to get started. Oh. Anyways, ask about me in the chat. I'm very loving, but I'm very straightforward. And I can trigger things, but I don't do it for fun. Okay. I only do it if I told a client earlier, I'll do my job if I have to, but I love to deliver really positive, happy information to you the best that I can. And even though I think this reading is going to be really, really, I don't think it's going to trigger so much as it's going to enlighten. And I think the enlightenment and the things that you recognize in the moment are what's going to trigger you. Meaning it's probably not going to be me like normal where I kind of come in and I put the channelings together and it's like, bosh, bosh, bosh. I think it's more so going to be answering some questions that you have. I have been meaning to do this reading for, again, since at least this weekend. It might have even come in, no, it was probably like Friday. So I don't have the questions yet. I'm going to allow those to come in the moment. I might even go into the chat, but I'm going to answer some what I believe are supposed to be very basic twin flame questions that come up for people as either, just recurring questions or even down to existential, like twin flame existence questions, things that make you like the main one. Am I crazy? I don't think I'm going to ask that, but that's something that comes up so frequently because twin flames are like, okay, what's going on here, right? So we're going to shuffle bless. We're going to get into this. And I just want you to find your zen, find your center, find your peace. And I want you to start reflecting on those questions that you've had, just generally speaking about being a twin flame, who you are in this space, in this place as a twin. Who's this? Who's this? I see someone. I'm looking. Oh, what up, Maria? I love that you guys are donating to me before I even start as I come back in. I feel like it's kind of like, come on, Grace, give us more. Where have you been, Grace? Come on, what if I give you, $1? I got a Benjamin Franklin. Is Benjamin Franklin on something? Right here. All right, anyways, I'm sorry. So, I'm going to bless and shuffle. I think we're going to do like 4, maybe 5, 6 questions, okay? So I'm going to get whatever I'm led to kind of put wherever laid out, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what comes. Again, this is going to be one of those things where I need my mods. If you guys are here, I don't know who all is here, but if you're here, moderators, thank you for reminding everyone to stay positive throughout. Thank you for those of you who are not moderators for reminding people to speak only life and positivity about their twin flame dynamic. Anyone who comes and says, I don't believe in twin flames, blah, blah, then, go ahead and just block them because they're just trolling or they're just, trolling. So otherwise, members, what up? Welcome. We're going to get into this. Let's go. Wow, already. Wow. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. So here's what I'm getting from this. Based on what you already know about life and relationships, you respond. What is this? Hold on a second. The knife. That's funny. That's so funny. And the page of, okay. You respond to a lot of things that happen in your twin flame journey, dynamic, whatever. You kind of respond with a lot of hesitation. You go running, shoo, and then you kind of either stall out or even back up because you're like, wait a minute. Again, the question I feel like that's going to just come up throughout this reading is just, am I crazy? Am I crazy to be doing this? Am I crazy to be thinking like this? Is this really who or what or where or why or how I'm supposed to be here? And what's happening is a lot of individuals don't realize that they're actually not, I won't say they're holding up their journey because that's not really possible. But what you're doing is you're missing opportunities where you were meant to be either in separation or just blissfully ignorant that you're even a twin flame at all. You're missing the opportunity to really get the full breadth and scope of your growth prior to getting into union. And so it's not that you're stopping union from coming. It might just be that by the time union does come, you're going to have a lot more problems in your dynamic and a lot of things that you have to build on because you held back when you were supposed to be moving forward. And so it's funny because what I see is this energy of, I want my 10 of cups. I want my 2 of cups. And it's like, okay, I understand that you're basing your movements on this really passionate, excited feeling towards this counterpart, but you're also, whether you know it or believe it or not, also basing it off of every bad relationship you've ever had, every trauma, it's like you want this person to come in and heal all those things for you, or, whatever it is you're looking for on, I think, more of a 3D level that you're trying to spin into 5D. And on the other side of things, you just kind of, I don't know, you miss out on those chances for you to be who you're supposed to be because you're not used to this. You think you know, and you often speak as if you know, okay? We don't want to come off as an ignorant person on the twin flame journey. I had a client tell me today, oh, I'm a rookie. And I'm like, you're not a rookie. Just talking to her, you could tell she was so far advanced. But I think it goes beyond humility, and I think it's more of discomfort, not knowing what's next, not knowing what to expect, and not liking the feeling that this might just be another thing that happened to you before. And so what we see is you may be bringing about what you call a tower moment, what you call something that you would really see as more negative. We may be bringing these things into our own life, onto ourselves unknowingly, when it really was supposed to be a revelation that shows no, this is real, this is important, this is special, this is everything I know it to be. And so I think what's happening here is you're even just coming to this reading, there might be something you hear in the reading, there might be something that triggers a train of thought tomorrow, next week, next month, whatever. You might come upon this reading months from now and something just boom like that. But I think that what's happening in this moment is you're learning to shift those feelings of tower, like either fear that there will be a tower moment or the feeling of, everything just fell apart when it really didn't. You're shifting from, I think, a space of fear into a space of belief. You're shifting from a space of fear. I think it's funny that the first sentence this says is a significant life event. I think that you seeing this reading is going to be that thing for you as a twin flame. I don't know why. We don't know what's going to come, but let's find out. Let's keep going. Wow. Well, here's a sync for you. So we've seen the 2 of Cups twice. Obviously, the commitment coming from the divine partner. I will say typically we're waiting from the divine masculines, right? But I have a lot more clients than just, people who identify as female divine feminines. I have male divine feminines. I have female divine masculines. And they're not, it's not even just like, they must be straight or gay. No. It's everyone, everything. You have a chance and an opportunity to be born, or I don't know what you call that, spiritually inclined toward everything, every aspect of it. And so I will say that this is not just limited to feminines waiting on masculines. This is people waiting for their partner to commit. I've even been seeing a lot lately where divine feminines realize after having a session or a phone call or a reading or whatever, they're like, oh my gosh, Grace, it's me. I didn't even realize that because I was so afraid, I was holding back. I didn't realize that every time this person hit me up, the whole reason they ghosted me is because I pushed them away with my fear. So there's a lot that's happening where people are realizing, okay, maybe it's not what I think it is. Maybe it's not who I think it is that's causing the delay. But I will say still, for the most part, we're waiting on these divine masculines to step up and say, I want to honor this contract that you and I share, not a contract of the souls, but more so a contract with the divine, with heavenly realms that says we came here to complete a mission. I'm ready for it. And this right here is proof. This is the light worker. This is the Proverbs 31 woman. And again, that's just considering the actual biblical concept of the Proverbs 31 woman, not saying that only feminines can be women, but simply saying that the divine feminine entity in the dynamic is going to be the one who kind of keeps things flowing and keeps things going together. It's not just about taking care of the house. It's about taking care of the family. It's about being industrious and seeing where there is a gap to be filled and standing in it in strength and in power. And I think that the divine feminine's hesitation to move forward with pretty much any aspect of their life until they get into union is what is also impacting this, which is impacting this, which is the reason you see it's a cycle. You're stuck because you didn't know. A lot of readers don't talk about the mission. I didn't know that. I guess I did because I'd never really heard readers talk about it, but I only watched readings for like 3 months, you guys. It just was too toxic for me. I just couldn't do it. I could not watch these people's readings. I ended up kind of leaning more towards astrologers, if anything, who didn't really talk about twin flames. So maybe there's more out there that are really positive, but even still, how many of your favorite readers, how many of the people that you're watching are talking about the mission? If they are, keep watching. If they're not, ask yourself, what is the purpose of their readings? What is the message that they're trying to convey? Are they just doing readings for the sake of doing readings? Or are they really trying to help me along my journey? There's nothing wrong with whatever they might be doing. But as a twin flame, you need to be a lot more careful with your energy because of the mission, because there's something that you're supposed to do. Let's keep going. Whoa. Oh my gosh, you guys, that has never happened ever. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just going to slide this all forward. I went to go shuffle and the top cards fell off. Look at this. What the heck is up with you guys? The fact that I just called the divine feminines out and then the Empress, this is insane. That just freaked me out a little bit. Oh, and guess what? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's, geez. Okay, so I guess what just occurred is a bunch of you just got a revelation and some of y'all just turned inwardly, turned to your ego, looked at your ego and said, you son of a bitch. Okay, so let's keep going. Oh my gosh. I don't even remember I'm so okay, here. Okay, right? Like that. Okay. That was weird. Oh, that was weird. Do we got another 8? No. Okay, did you just hold on? Oh my gosh. Did you guys just see that? After I talk about doing the work to do the mission, the freaking work card comes up, and then the King of Pentacles, which is the divine masculine collective. Oh my, what's this? It's time to integrate your 5D, your manifestations, your visions into the world. It's time. Oh my gosh, what's back here? This is insane. Okay. All right, listen up, people. If this is already like, no, not possible. This is just, no. Go ahead and get. You cannot be here. Anybody who's like, she's just overexcited. Oh, Grace, just hurry up and finish the read. Get out.
Get out.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can't be here right now though, because the energy is so beautiful. It's there's no what's that word? There it's oh, I don't know how to say it. There is no anger, there is no mean, there is no fear. It is straight up divine is saying to you, listen, I had to wait for you to be ready to hear this. Some of you have been watching me for 2 years and still won't start your light work. No problem. Guess what? Tonight's going to be different. Okay, let's keep going. Divine. No, we're going to go divine masculine first. Oh, look at this. The Queen of Wands, the inspiration. 10 of Pentacles. This is crazy. This reading is freaking me out. Wow. Okay, okay. Oh my gosh. So the divine, it's the divine partnership card. You guys, this is getting serious. Okay, relax, Grace. Focus. It's the 3 and the 10, though. That's so freaky. Focus, Grace. What was you going to say? Divine, what were the cards? Divine masculine has the same need to be inspired in order to see their own ability. They have to be able to see past the fear. They have to be able to see, you know what their main fear is? The thing that you don't want to acknowledge. And then if you do, you get mad when you do it, is that they are so afraid of holding you back. Let me tell y'all something. My ex-husband, yes, I've been married before. You've been married before? I don't know if I should take advice from someone who's been divorced. My ex-husband, when he shared with me that he believed he might be gay or bisexual, and amongst other things that kind of led to our final demise, he had just gotten me in a car accident, almost killed me, a bunch of crazy stuff. He said to me, and I kind of took this as him trying to because he was such a baby. He was such a womp womp. He said to me, oh, yeah, I was talking to one of our old married friends. Him and his wife ended up getting divorced like a week or a month later. So I don't know if that was the best person to call, guy. But he said, I was talking to a friend of ours and I told him that I felt like you were the next Mother Teresa. And it was crazy because I always knew that. But I was like, it was weird when he said it because I never really told him my dreams like that. He just wasn't, I didn't waste my breath on him. Not like in a bad way, but more so for me. Like I knew it wasn't there was no point because he doesn't really listen. And so he said, I thought you were the next Mother Teresa and I feel like I'm just holding you back. And I kind of took it as a cop out. Like, you're just trying to flatter me into being nice, I guess. I don't know if he thought I didn't want to be with him. So I didn't need that. But I think it was like he was trying to keep everything smooth. And so all I can think of right now is the fact that maybe he was telling the truth. Like maybe he really meant that. Maybe in those moments where even I got mad at someone, like, oh, please, whatever. I don't need this now. Maybe in those moments where your divine masculine has actually said that to you, maybe even in the 5D when you've heard it and you're like, but I love you so much. That shouldn't matter. That shouldn't be a problem. Maybe that they're serious when they say, I'm afraid that I'm going to be the thing that blocks you, not realizing. And again, that was my ex-husband. That was someone I was never meant to be with. He was a major catalyst in my life because of the time that I spent alone in the desert in Las Vegas while he was out gallivanting. I had such a spiritual awakening that led me here, that I met Mr. Lightwork 3 or 4 months after I left Vegas. It was incredible. It was incredible, everything I was supposed to go through. But maybe some of you are really with a divine masculine who talks like that and thinks like that. And maybe they're serious. Maybe they're not just saying it to be a cop out and make you feel better, even though you're not taking it like that at all. You're more angry with them, like whatever. Maybe it was real. Maybe they meant it. All right, divine feminine, what's up with you? Look at this. Look at this sword. You need to take the sword out of your own heart, eh? Hold on, let's keep going. Oh, honey. Oh, honey. What's that? No, what are you? And it's the 10 of Cups, I figured. Oh my gosh, did you see that? What was that? No. Am I tripping? Am I tripping? Did you just... Was that 3, 2, 1? Hold on a second. What? Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. divine alignment. 2 + 1 is 3. This is our 5D. If you've never been on my channel before, just to give you a quick glimpse into what we've got here, we have 3, 3, 3. This card is a representation of two things: the divine partnership, teamwork, creativity, creatively coming together. It's also a sign of the rookie. I call this the Rookie of the Year card. Oh my gosh, my client today. You guys, it was an emergency session as well. So I wasn't even supposed to talk to that person a few hours ago. It was like out of nowhere. Oh my gosh. Remember, I just told you she said she was a rookie in this, and look what comes up. And I was like, you're not a rookie. You guys watching this are not rookies. It doesn't matter if you've been doing this for 5 years and you think, I'm still a rookie and I shouldn't be, or if you've been doing this for 3 weeks, 2 months, 8 months, I don't know, whatever, since 2018, 2017, and you're thinking, I'm a rookie. No, you're not. The fact that you're even on my channel of all the channels, I'm a twin flame coach. I'm not a twin flame reader. So come on. Please pay attention to who you are. Please pay attention. You guys, we have this freaking Capricorn eclipse coming, and I'm shook because all that stuff was about work and the world, which is the Capricorn. Okay. Saturn. Okay. Lots of things happening. Okay. All right. I need to get the reading. I need to get the messages out. So let's see. What are we doing here? Okay. All right. Oh my, okay. All right. Okay, Grace. Oh, okay. All right. Maybe it's not Grace. Okay. 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 All right. All right, we're back here. Woo! Oh, I feel like I was supposed to take those, but nope. They'll come up there. Nope. All right. Okay. I know what one of those was, though. Okay. Oh man, this is okay. Oh gosh. Okay. All right. Ah! Okay. Is that it? Okay. Are we gonna use the other ones? All right, fine. I'll be quiet. Oh, that was fast. Oh, that was fast. I mean, that was not fast. Okay. No, here. Alrighty. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh my. Oh, divine masculine. Whoa. Alrighty. All right, we got one more. What are we gonna do? Okay. All right, actually, this is interesting what I'm being led to do. I'm supposed to just literally take, what order? Does it matter? Okay. I'm literally just supposed to take the top card. Okay, so, okay. I think I might know what this question is. All right, okay, sorry guys, I'm just like talking to myself at this point. All right, and this is gonna be the final message. Is it a break? Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Are we ready? Let's do this. Oh, so I guess that similar to how I do from time to time, we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 piles. 6 positions, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to get these questions as we go. Right now, if you're here, if you're not here and you watch this later, don't be like, oh, I didn't pick one. That's fine. But if you're here now or you're watching this in the future, I want you to pick a stack. I don't think that that means it's a pick a card. It's not a pick a card. This stack in particular, I think, is going to have you ask yourself why this question or this stack has become such a prevalent, again, recurring, constant worry kind of question or issue for you. Okay? So pick one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, let's get going. Oh my. Okay, so first question. All right, we're going to go with the age old. Very, very simple. Are twin flames real? And what we have here is the divine deck and the 5D deck. Okay, these are what these represent. Okay, so we've got divine, 5D, and then these are 3D. Divine starts the flow of energy, disseminates the information into the 5D, and the 5D gives the information to the counterparts. Okay, sometimes the counterparts or even the 5D will reach out to divine, but I think that in this particular message, we're getting a message that has come through from divine to our 3D. So what's the message from divine? Wow. So here's where you can, I think, know. This is weird. How am I supposed to answer these? I guess what this is saying, if the question, what are the questions? If are, or am I twin? No, not am I twin flame. Are twin flames real? Are twin flames real? This is the 9 of Cups. The 9 of Cups is about dreams. Look at what it says on the bottom. Your wish comes true. Concerns fade away, a love of life. I think this is saying, do you know that feeling you get or had or whatever, maybe will have in the future if you realize this is not your real person or you whatever. You know that feeling you had when you realized that they were like your person, like the person of your dreams? This is how you know that they're real. Because I know that there are some of us who we've had crushes before, or we've even met really great people before, but it wasn't like this. You guys, I have met a lot of really great men, just generally speaking, from being a person who hung out with men and did not sleep with them. So I was able to actually like develop long relationships with them. I've met a lot of great people. I have dated people, like I try not to go too far too fast because I feel like people reveal themselves to be pretty crappy pretty quickly, just not within like a day or a week, but maybe in a few months, right? And so I really enjoyed the idea of courtship. And I'm sorry, I've never felt the way that I feel about anybody like I feel about Mr. Lightwork. Never. I've never dated, I've never met, but he has a little bit of all my favorite men in him. That sounds weird. He has a little bit in terms of his personality, in his laughter, in his kindness. He is truly the person of my dreams. This is how you know that twin flames are real. Because when you met that, put you through all that, you knew it didn't matter what they said, what they did. They were just right. They were really beyond just right. But you knew. What did you feel? Wow. I don't get the sense of the normal 7 of Cups in this, but I will tell you that this is 16 total. And the fact that it's the same suit tells us this is leading us to a major arcana energy. This was the life experience. This was the revelation. And it's pointing you back to all the times where the storm has rolled in and you realize that that person wasn't your person. Before you knew about twin flames, things would just happen where you'd go, oh, I don't like this at all. You're not who I thought you were. This is the opposite. Oh, my ears are ringing. What does that mean? Oh, that's weird. Just came out of nowhere. I don't know what that means. But it's the opposite. It's instead you look at them and you realize, wow, you're every single thing I ever wanted in my life. Who are you? So are twin flames real? Yeah. And guess what? It's the revelation that you had to experience all these things and then have this amazing epiphany, this moment, this jarring, life-altering moment occurred. And suddenly, chariot, suddenly you were on it. You were ready, but it was an emotional chariot. And if you were already an obsessive person, if you were already the type of person who had crushes and really got involved, if you're the type of person that, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Parks and Rec, but there's a point where one of the characters, Ann Perkins, ends up dating a whole bunch of guys because she was kind of trying to like find herself and just explore and just be different. And so she ended up dating, let's just say 10 different guys. And one was a cowboy, one was really into working out. I mean, name all the different things and you got it. This was what she was doing. One was like a rock climber. She was doing pretty much, I think there was a point where they had like a yard sale and she had a bunch of boxes on a table and all the boxes had names on them and like guys' names. And they were like, what is this? And she's like, oh, that's my Chris box. And that's my cowboy box. And so the point was that she literally became these guys. And if you know that you've always been that type of person because of the emotional roller coaster that this person put you on just from being amazing, just from being your divine counterpart, that is where you probably had a lot of tower moments. You might be like, Grace, why didn't divine make me stronger then? Why did divine introduce me when we were supposed to go right into separation? Why not just introduce us when we're ready? And it's because we understand that they can trigger us into changing and becoming better or even our best self. That separation puts us through so much that eventually most of us just get fed up and we stand up and we fight. We fight for ourselves, but we also fight for our love and we make ourselves better and we leave the universe no excuse, no reason not to give us. We demand our union. We demand it by saying, Hineni, I am here. I am ready. Here I am, universe. What else do you want me to do? But first it has to touch us. And the only way to get us to move and to be and to do everything we're supposed to do, to follow our dreams, to follow our path and not get stopped by things that make us afraid, is for us to stand up and fight and be who we're supposed to be. And it happens because of our twin flame. Are twin flames real? Yes. We don't know the purpose. We don't know why. We don't know the how. Let's not even try to answer all that. Let's just know that feeling that I had, that you had, that we had, I looked at Mr. Lightwork and I said, oh my gosh, I threw my arms around him. I am not a touchy person. Don't touch me if you don't know me. I will look real uncomfortable and I might not let you. I got it from my grandma. I'll be like, no, thank you. Don't hug me. I saw Jerry Seinfeld did that to Kesha. I don't know where I saw that. It was like, he dissed her so hard. She came up and she said, hi, I'm Kesha. I love you. And he was like, okay. And then she was like, can I have a hug? And he was like, no. And she was like, please. And he says, no, thank you. That's me. I threw my arms around my divine masculine who I'd never seen, never met. I looked up at him and I said, who are you? Where are you from? You know why he was standing there staring at me? He came up and he asked, does anyone have a flame? We call lighters flame in Florida. Does anybody have a flame? That is how I met my twin. That is my dream lover. That is the person that I knew was mine. That was the moment my life changed. I know twin flames are real. You need to think back to those moments where you knew it was real because that is what you've been missing. That is what you've forgotten. That is what you need to remind yourself of when you think you're crazy. Do you understand me? Whew. Alrighty. Oh, the Lone Ranger. Is that the only one car? Oh, the only one? Okay, so. No, I don't know if that's a good question because I feel like that's going to be, this is a general reading. That's not a good idea. All right. I don't know how the heck. Okay. Oh, okay. I get it. Okay. Actually, I get it. Never mind. I was going to complain, but I just realized I understand. This is, oh man. Remember, I have to remind myself of this. This is not a reading to answer the questions. This this is a reading to answer the question. This is crazy. Meaning this, okay, you know the question I got for this? Who is my divine counterpart? But the problem I had is, well, that's not fair. This is a general reading. How can I answer that? And I realized that's because I'm trying to answer the questions for you. No, that's not what we're here to do. We're here to answer the question about why you keep asking these questions, okay? So if you keep asking, who is my divine counterpart? If you keep getting confused, who are they? Who are they? Is this my real twin? Are you my real twin? Do you guys remember Are You My Mother, that Dr. Seuss book? Or was it Eli Wiesel? Who is my divine counterpart? Maybe some of you are going to get some straight up answers here, but let's see. Oh, sorry. That's not funny. I'm so sorry. Oh, that's not funny. Okay, let me tell you a few things about this card. So some of you know that I have my own special relationship with my decks. I started doing tarot as a twin flame reader, and I will end doing tarot as a twin flame reader. I will not do tarot for my entire lifetime. I may even stop doing tarot this year, if not maybe going into next year. It really depends. Please do pray for me to receive a publishing deal in the next year. I appreciate that. That will be my birthday wish, to ask you guys for that. Pray for my health, my longevity. Pray for me to receive more abundance, that I may bless more people with my homeless ministry. But please pray for my book deal. All right, so I have my unique relationship. Just like the Three of Pentacles, I see as a major partnership card, the beginning of something incredible. This is the Seven of Swords, and I see this as a twin flame in trouble card. There's so many, there's so much to this. The Seven of Swords has the Two of Swords as well as the Five of Swords energy within. The divine masculine individual in this is carrying 5 swords with the tips in their hands, the edges, the sharp blades in their hands. But it's the only way to carry this many swords out quickly. Okay, this person is a spy. This person is a spy in a land that is not their own. They're using their abilities. Oh, wait a minute. Now remember, Divine Feminine, you were the one who had straight swords all through your energy. Remember, it was like Knight of Swords, 3, 2, Ace of Swords. You remember that? Do you remember that? Do you remember that? And then it became the Three of Pentacles. So the reason I call this a twin flame in trouble card is because you see in the back, you know what the other two are? The Five of Swords. I know that energy's in here, so this is like double, okay? And the Five of Cups, because in all 3 of those in the Rider-Waite, you see the 2 suits off in the distance, off in the background, standing firm, standing tall. So the fact that you're asking who your real counterpart is could be talking about your lack of confidence in anything but your own power. It could be talking about the fact that you spend way too much time watching readings. And I'm not just talking about other people's readings. I'm talking about mine too. I'm talking about all readings. I'm talking about those of you who obsessively search for any signs of life in your dynamic when you're supposed to be doing your job. I'm talking about those of you who are meant to right now, while you're not able to be in your kingdom with your counterpart, who are supposed to trust that your divine counterpart is out on deployment doing their thing and you're supposed to be holding it down. But you keep missing it. And it's because your motives are impure. It's because you're being selfish. And don't get mad at me for telling you what the real truth is. You know why you're being selfish? Because you don't seem to want to recognize that your divine counterpart has to go through their own growth just like you did. And guess what? They weren't there to rush you through yours like you're rushing them through theirs. Nothing they do is ever good enough for you because it's not union. And your behavior shows. Your only confidence will be when what? When union happens. But guess what? That's not how this works. So there's a lot of messages here, but I will tell you one thing. The twin flame in trouble card is a sign of something good. If we didn't see a twin flame in trouble card in a reading, it might say that the twin flames are, you see how the swords are kind of right here behind? It's almost like they'll be like all the way in the background. Okay? The thought of being a twin flame, the thought of having any kind of, whatever with the dynamic wouldn't even be even close to the surface. But here we see this right up front. In fact, they're looking at it. There is an awareness that the motives have to change, but there is also a feeling of nonchalance in saying, look, I can't worry about this right now. So when you ask who your divine counterpart is, there's a lot of questions that come up here. Number one, it says, well, where are you on your journey? Have you finished your mission? Have you given them the time that they need to be who they're supposed to be? Because they could very well be the person that you think. But you think, whether it's because a reader told you or because you told yourself. Mr. Lightwork said this the other day in one of his videos. He said, who told you that your mission was to get into union with that person? You? Divine? I've talked to you guys about that before. Divine will sometimes tell you, sure, that's your twin. Sure. Because Divine knows that if you don't get told what you want to hear, you're not going to move forward. And some of you know how guilty you are of that. Some of you know that you set Divine up and think you're slick or smarter than Divine. You say, you know what, God? If you don't tell me who my twin flame is, then I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do that. If I see a blue car today, I know that I'm a twin flame. That's not how it works. You cannot trick Divine. I don't know why people try that, but they do. So I want you to check yourself. Rather than asking constantly, who is my counterpart? Where counterpart? I don't think I've ever said that. Oh, that's funny. Sorry. Professional. Who is my divine counterpart? Who, where are they? When are they coming? Are they ready yet? Why aren't they here? Again, I think the divine feminine is the one who's being called out for the false motives. But divine masculine, listen up. You cannot keep playing games with your counterpart and keeping them on the back burner just because you can see them there. You know, it's like it's funny actually. Another Ann Perkins joke here. In the show Parks and Rec, Ann Perkins refuses to set Leslie, her best friend, up with Justin, a man that she has been keeping on the back burner just in case. Get it, Justin? Oh, I wonder if that's why they named him that. Whoa, epiphany. So the reason I bring that up is to say sometimes the divine masculines, they know the divine feminine in their life is so amazing, but they also know that that divine feminine is so amazing, they're probably not going to be waiting around for them. And so what they do is they say, all right, I'm not ready for a relationship. I'm not ready to be with you. I'm also not really down to let you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my eye on you. You see, but I'm not really ever going to commit until I know I'm ready. And if you happen to go with somebody else, I guess it would be no big deal. I wouldn't blame you. I would do the same thing. And so what we're seeing here is I think a request. This is a 5D issue. This is a 5D energy. The divine masculines may be using the divine feminines, and the divine feminines may be obsessing or basing their entire life around the divine masculine in such a way that they basically sit stagnant like the Two of Swords energy, and that is the divine feminine in training card. The fact that that sits back here, I think also says that the divine feminine may not be as awakened as he or she thinks. That's not an insult to you. It simply says that you may believe that your journey is over while you sitting here waiting and thinking you're looking back at your divine masculine, but you may not be where you think you are. You might be farther along than you know, but you also might have such a small scope of how much real growth you have that you think you're either done or that your next, I hear it all the time. Oh yeah, my next growth phase doesn't start till I get into union. Who told you that? I hope it wasn't a reader. And I kind of hope it wasn't you either. So I don't know where you're getting it from, but I just want you to think about that. Why do I keep asking, who's my divine counterpart? Tell me who my twin is. Tell me if this is really my person. Can you please confirm it? Can you please confirm it? Why are you, do you know how many people order reading from me and 30 other readers to ask the same question and then come to another reader and say, yeah, I've had a lot of readers tell me different things. You're ordering 30 readings. What do you expect? What do you expect? So you're the one who's supposed to know that. The fact that those readers agreed to do those readings for you and didn't say to you, hey, listen, no one but you will ever be able to decide you're really a twin flame or who your twin flame is. That's a problem. Anyone who's ever asked me that question always gets that email from me straight up. I don't play around with it. I do not lead you guys on. I'm not going to play with your emotions like that because it's wrong. because people take readings as law and God rather than taking them as opportunities to receive important pieces of information, recalibrate, and make moves that they were supposed to make all along. Not necessarily that, oh, just because a reader said it. Again, divine might send the message because it's the only way to get you to move. Divine feminines, stop, take a moment and ask yourself, what are the worst 3 traits about your divine masculine right now? Everybody, let's do it. Come on, right now. What's the number one thing that just came to your mind? Go ahead and say that one, because you don't have to type it if you want to be mean or whatever, but think, okay, boom, you got the first one? What's the second thing you dislike about their behavior? You might love them, but what is the second thing? I got mine. You got yours? Okay, what's your third thing? All right, good? You got your first 2, 1, 2, 3, 3 things you don't like about your divine masculine? Okay, fantastic. Now, what is it that what's that thing about twin flame? I feel like there's something about twin flame. It's you. Do you understand? It's a mirror. Okay? It's a mirror. They're your mirror. So please stop. Get it together, because it's in you too. You have the exact same issue. Many times you're projecting. Many times you're actually mad at yourself for the same problem and you want them to somehow be better. Come on. I feel like someone just was like, but I just needed to say it. The reason you keep asking who your divine counterpart is because you refuse to move forward without them, because you're afraid to move forward without them, because you are unable to go on to the next step without being sure you're on the right path. And guess what? Twin flame or not, that should never be how you move. That should never be how you live your life. Terrified of what's next until you know. Do you understand that people have been cross-country traveling across the globe, and all they have is headlights that only show maybe a couple hundred feet? Maybe even in the air, I don't know if the airplanes have headlights, maybe a couple thousand feet if they're really strong. But otherwise, is that right? A couple thousand feet? Yeah, that's fine. I'm like, miles? No. But yeah, you don't get to see the whole thing. All you've got is a map, a kind of idea of where you're headed, a destination, a goal in mind. And then you just got to go for it. Stop denying divine the opportunity to surprise you. Stop denying your divine counterpart the opportunity to come in and sweep you off your feet. And stop clinging to people when you're supposed to be walking forward and living your best life. I love you guys. I hope that you guys are taking this well. I have no idea what's happening. I hope you guys still love me. But even if you don't, Chad, I had to tell you. All right, let's go. Okay, here we go. All right. So many of you are, I don't know how many people are here right now that ask this, but I wonder if, okay. All right. The question that I'm getting is, am I the divine feminine or the divine masculine? But I think that some of you don't ask that, but you will feel as if you've slipped into one or the other. And so before I look at these cards, I'm supposed to tell you something that, so my ex-husband and I, we obviously were not doing very well. And that last year we were married, it was when the Cubs won the World Series. I remember because our last session, we went to this marriage counseling thing. It was like a seminar. It was like a 6-week seminar. And I remember the last one we went to, we had to race to the closest open bar to go watch the Cubs. And then there was a rain delay. So we had to race home so that he could watch them win, which was, I was happy for him. It was good for him. So I remember that really strongly. And one of the final things I worked up the nerve to ask the guy when we were leaving, and I remember my ex was so mad, but I just had to know. We had taken this test, just one of those personality tests. And maybe it might be good for you guys to start taking spiritual gift tests, personality tests, the love languages quiz. All of these things can be really good for your own edification. But even when you guys get into, the dynamic with your divine counterpart, or if you actually are able to see them, people like to talk about themselves. And so Mr. Lightwork has always been open. He just did it the other day. I asked him freaking, I think it was like 200 questions because I made him take 3 different spiritual gift tests so that we could see. And guess what? All 3 of them, profit was one of them. Isn't that funny? Anyways, what his gifts might be. And so we had taken this quiz in this class, and it said it was the one that was like beaver, lion, golden retriever, and otter. Okay. Now, I used to have the otter, very playful, fun-loving personality, probably otter lion, right? With the beaver, a strong beaver mind. That's where I saw myself before I got with my husband. But by the time that we got together and throughout the marriage, I had basically become this beaver lion, where I was really, I was the one who handled all the bills, all the money. I was the one who moved us across the country the first time, which is why it was so easy for me to move back by myself, because I was the one who handled everything. He just sat there. He got to be the freaking otter and have all the fun. And so I said to this marriage counselor, I was like, sir, why do I feel like if I had taken this test 5 years ago, I'd be different? And he said, because people naturally fill in the gaps where they need to. And you may have recognized there was a need for you to step in and be that beaver and that lion. And essentially I was the divine masculine in that relationship. That's another reason I was so unhappy. I've always been very masculine. That's why he was drawn to me. My ex really enjoyed that about me. But to actually have to be only divine masculine for 5 years was so overwhelming. It was just not my place. And so I hear a couple things in there. Number one, if you ever feel like you slip back and forth, it's because you were meant to. It's because it was required of you in the moment and you were able. All divine counterparts have both an inner feminine and an inner masculine. The divine feminine's inner feminine is simply larger, like 1/2 of the yin and yang, okay? So the divine masculine has the yang, the small circle within that yang is the divine feminine energy, and vice versa. So if you ever feel that you've slipped back and forth, please don't think that means that you're not wholly one or the other, fully one or the other, whatever. Don't get caught up in the labels, you guys. That's the first off. And I think the second off is, I missed a part. I don't remember. It'll come back if it's supposed to. So let's go ahead and look at this. We'll go ahead and move forward. And if it comes, it comes. So what is it that we need to know? This is 2 divine decks, but something in me said, pull it apart. And I think, it must be the yin and the yang aspect here. Okay, let's look at this. Wow. So this is freaking me out. So we have 8 and then we have 17, which is 8. 1 + 7 is 8. So we have 8, 8. So I think that what's happening here, we see one thing. It says a desire to move on, the search for something more meaningful, spiritual and emotional growth. And then we also see happy times, make positive, optimistic, long-term plans, on the right path. What's interesting is both of these talk about forward momentum, moving forward, the path that lies ahead. As you search for something more meaningful, you realize that you're on the right path. I think that there may be moments where your divine masculine is needed or your divine feminine is needed. The inner part of you has to come out, has to stand out. And so if you've been questioning a lot, am I the DM? Am I the DF? The part of me wants to tell you, you may have to stand and be in a very balanced state of being while you're in separation, which may be why it's so easy. Think about it. If you've been kind of 50-50, 50% DF, 50% DM, it's not hard at all to go from 50 to 51%, 51 and 49. Do you understand? It's easy to slip back. I think that once you receive the full energy of your counterpart, once you're in union, once you guys are always around each other, you will slowly but surely slip into, if we're looking at a total of 16, maybe you'll be only, 4 and then 12, right? What would that be? Maybe 25%, 75% rather than 50-50, which would make it a lot more challenging for you to slip into the energy of the DM or the DF, depending on who you are. And Mr. Lightwork is about to come in. I hope, I don't think he can hear me anymore. I sealed the door. But Mr. Lightwork is, if he does come in and if anything shakes or he's loud or whatever, forgive us. So seeing this makes me feel like the sign is, don't be afraid to be balanced and be who you're supposed to be. Oh, you know what? And it's funny because that's what the marriage counselor even kind of stepping in and filling in where you need to. I think this is also saying Don't feel bad about having to do that even later down the line. Wherever you are along the path, there will be moments where your divine feminine or divine masculine, there will be moments where you recognize logic might rule over emotion, or emotion might rule over logic. Don't give yourself a hard time either way. Are you the divine feminine or the divine masculine? I think the real question is, why does that matter to you? It's not to say that it doesn't matter. It's to say, why does that matter so much to you? What would it change? Would it change your person? Is it because you think that maybe you're a DM and you know they're a DM, so you think they can't be your counterpart? It's always coming back to fear. And I think that these 2 8s are telling you, stop with all the karmic energy. All that fear, that vibe, you could be using those things to do powerful manifestation work, to step into your power, to make personal changes in your life that allow you to be in your fullness, regardless of whether you're the DM or the DF. There is a beautiful energy to both. There is a necessary energy of both. We need both of those things. And so if you happen to have the experience of being in both of those energies from time to time, what's the harm? There's no harm here. I really get the sense of, and I know this is going to sound again like I'm being, I don't know, really aloof about this. But I think the question keeps coming on, or the not even the question, it's like a statement. It just says, hey, move on. Don't worry about which one you are. Just be who you feel in the moment that you need to be. And be the being, the energy, the whatever you want to call it, that is required, that is needed in the moment. That's what really matters here. That's very interesting. I like this. I also get a little message here that while the divine masculine is searching, you can kind of see that image as they're figuring things out, that the divine feminine may end up having to be both. You see, kind of watering both sides. You may end up having to be both, okay? All right. Okay, so this is an interesting reading. And again, remember, which of these did you pick as your kind of your primary question, or the thing that maybe you're like, oh, I picked that one, but I don't really ever ask that question. Well, maybe there's something about this that you needed to know. All right, let's keep going. Really? All right. The question here is, when will I come into union? When is my union? When is my union? Is it my union yet? Is my union here? Is it my union yet? My union? When am I coming into union? Where's my counterpart? My union. We have 4 of Pentacles for divine masculine and 8 of Wands in reverse for divine feminine. What I believe has to happen here is these 2 things need to be flipped. I think this is talking about the battle within. And I think that what this is saying is the divine masculine has to stop holding back. The divine masculine is too afraid. They're too, I will say this, I will not say that they're in a, like if they're a DM and they're in a DF energy. That's not what I sense. What I sense is they're in a low vibrational energy. So both counterparts are low vibrational. That is, and again, you might hear that and be so offended, like, how dare you, Fiery Grace? You don't know me. You don't know what I've been through. They might be in a low vibration, but I sure am not. Well, I'm just saying, if all you care about is getting into union with this person, you probably are. Even if it's just because they're bringing you down. You know what I see here? 8 of Wands in reverse. Stop searching for downloads about union. That's what's keeping you in the low vibration, silly. It's not you. It's not your growth. It's not your personality. There's nothing about you that is low vibrational except your incessant need to know when you're coming into union. Literally. When will the divine masculine come into union? When they stop holding back. Or I will tell you this, some of them overdo. Some of them give too much and go too far. This might be talking about the ones who are out there gallivanting, doing their thing, being, freaky McNasties, or just like drinking a lot, partying a lot. This is, the ones who they play too many video games. But again, it could also be people who are too afraid to be who they're supposed to be and stand in their gifting. Again, divine feminine, you're not getting the message. You know when your union will come? When you finally pay attention to the message that's been trying to be given to you forever. So, you know what they're probably saying? You need to do something that inspires the divine masculine to do something. You need to stand in the gaps and be who you're supposed to be so that they will see you and think to themselves, dang, if she can do it, if he can do it, I can do it. And not in some insulting way, but simply to say, you know what? I have to, because there's no way that I'm going to let my DF, right? The weaker vessel. I'm just, again, I know that's not how we want to talk about things, but that may very well be how the divine counterpart sees you, as their little sensitive booby girl, not booby, but like my boo, you know? And it's like, if my boo, if my little sweet honeydew can do that, what's wrong with me? So, you know, when you guys are going to come into union, first of all, divine feminine, when you get over the need to know when union is happening, that's number one. Number two, you know what will happen when you stop caring about union? You'll probably start caring about your mission. You'll probably start caring about the things you're supposed to do, and you'll probably start to receive the downloads. And similarly, the divine masculine will stop holding back from their gifting. They'll stop being too afraid or doing too much and living in excess to where they have no energy to give to their own gifts. Whew. Child. I feel like I got to move on from that one. Y'all didn't like that one. All right. So if you keep asking yourself that question, you need to go ahead and take that. Yeah, some of y'all might need to rewatch that part. All right. Oh, baby, are you going to take a shower? When you're done, can we do another video? I have to do the drawing. Can we do the drawing tonight? You know what I'm talking about? It'll take like 5 minutes. Yeah. I have that Master Manifestor gift set I need to mail out tomorrow. So if any of you ordered in June, you were automatically entered. Mr. Lightwork's going to help me do the drawing tonight. All right, anyways. No, I don't want to ask that either. These people, they're going, oh dear.
You say be careful what you ask for.
You're a prophet, Grace.
That's what they say.
Just let them stone you. All right. The question here is, why am I in separation? It's funny because this is saying, when will I come into union? Is that not the same? But I guess it's not. This is when will I come into union? This is why am I not in union? Okay. Well, it's not why am I not in union. The question I hear is why am I in separation? Why am I? Okay. All right. So I guess we'll do DF first. 3 of Wands. Because you've been making your own plans, but you don't seem to know that there's a divine order and a divine plan already in place for you. I don't know if this means you need to make it to the mountaintop so that you can see the plan. I think that's saying, seek higher mind, think with a higher level of thought. Bring your energy up in order for you to be able to look down and see things as they truly are rather than from a lower level perspective. Why am I in separation? I think it's a denial of the divine plan, really. Oy. Okay, what about the divine masculine? Why is the divine masculine? Look at this. It's the 4 of Wands. Because they don't want no dang relationship. Because they're not going to be good in union. They're not ready. That's why. They're not ready. They don't know what they want. And if they do know, it's not you. It's not a relationship. It's not to be twin flames. It's not to have some sacred thing. They just don't. That's just a lot for them. That's too much. So you and the divine masculine are both in separation because we're working on the energy that is going to help us to be the creators we're meant to be. And until we are supposed to be in that energy, until we're supposed to stand in that spark, until we get divinely aligned, we're not going to be able to come together. But that does not mean, what do we have here? Again, same suit, 7, Chariot. That's the major arcana energy we've been looking for. We haven't seen that since over here. What was that question? Are twin flames real? That's funny. And actually, wasn't that it was the Chariot, but it was emotional Chariot. Now we need to be in that fire energy. Now we need to have that passion and the excitement rather than everything being based on the ebb and flow of our emotions. No, it needs to be based on the fire inside. What does it say? I don't want a flame, I want a fire. You should not be okay with just having your twin flame, and that's life. You should want more. You should crave more. Your twin flame should be a bonus. They should never have become your all-consuming fire, and you let them. So, why am I in separation? Here's what you need to know in the 5D. Wow. Wow. Oh, the crazy part is this is 13. I'm sorry. Yes, this is 13. I feel like, all right, we've got a few things here. What is the divine masculine holding? See, this is the 6 of Swords, but the divine masculine is the one holding the rod, the wand. It's not necessarily meant to be a wand in this, but I do see this, and as well as the hermit has one. A couple, I think, is that it? I don't know. I think a couple people have a wand or a rod. And it makes me feel like until the divine masculine is inspired to take things forward, you're going to be in separation. And this is a 5D energy. This is saying until the divine masculine in the 5D is ready. This is not just talking about a 3D awakening or awareness that says, okay, so I guess I'm ready to be in a relationship. Guess what? Just because they're ready to be in a relationship still doesn't mean you get to be with them, because guess they're not going to do their job. They're not going to do their job. Do you understand? Oh, who is this? Oh, I can't tell. I don't know I can't tell what you did, but I see that you sent me something. Thank you for donating. You guys are so sweet to me. I'm sorry that I didn't thank you. By the way, if you ever send me a donation via the live chat, please make sure you email me, thefierygrace@gmail.com, thefierygrace@gmail.com. I like to send you guys something. By the way, I have not sent anybody anything for the last several weeks of lives in terms of the donors. So please just, it comes when it comes. I promise I have to get through the emails, but please do email me so I can send you something to show my gratitude. Until the divine masculine has this newfound understanding of unconditional love and recognizes that, you see the baby here? That's the mission. Recognizes that it's worth it on a soul level, not just oh, I guess I'm cool. Because I went through that. Remember, I don't know if you guys remember this, but when me and Mr. Lightwork first got together, he was not really like that down or that into it, and I could tell, and I called it pseudo union. So even though we had shifted from being basically like this weird open relationship dynamic, it was very weird. I'd never done it and I did not like it. And even though he never really did follow through with what we had agreed to, like after like the first month or so, month and a half or so, he was always with me. There was no opportunity for him to do anything with anyone else. And frankly, he didn't want to because he lived with me and he felt weird sleeping with someone else and living and coming back to me, if that made any sense. That's why it was always this fear of, well, if you get your own place, you're going to start sleeping with people again. And I can't handle that. Not after basically having you all to myself this whole time. It was so stressful. So when we got together, yeah, we were boyfriend and girlfriend, but I still didn't really believe he was all there. I just thought he just didn't want to lose me. So he just said, fine, I guess I'll do it. And I think in some ways he might have. I think that might be really how we got into union. But then the beautiful part about it was he decided, I guess he may not have really understood in the 3D what he was about, but in the 5D, something in him knew this was the right move for him. And that was where his 5D was kind of ushering things in, even though his 3D, you could tell, just didn't know what he was doing. It wasn't that he didn't know how to be in a relationship. He did not know how to be in a sacred union. But now, oh, me and Mr. Lightwork, we've been in full-blown true union for over a year. And actually, I think it's actually probably our anniversary, if that makes any sense. Like our union anniversary. Our anniversary is in January. But I think our union anniversary, where it really clicked and we both felt it, was around summer of last year. So I want you to understand that. Neither one of us was really ready for union. Neither one of us was even really ready for pseudo union, but we sure could not handle separation. Not every twin flame is required to go through separation. And it's not because you're a starseed or an indigo or a Blu-ray or whatever. It's not because of that. It's simply because it was what was written or what wasn't written. All right. I just want everyone to understand being a twin flame doesn't make you special. And being a special being doesn't make you a special twin flame. Okay. Because I have to correct people on that sometimes. I need you to humble yourself a little bit more when it comes to this dynamic so that you can stop feeling so inadequate every time something goes wrong. That's another story. So what I see here is I see death. I see the energy but it's less of, it's not a bad death. It's kind of like the rod of death, like there was a flag on it and we've taken the flag off. And so the death really wasn't the normal, like, whatever, the angel of death or whatever you would call it. I think it was actually the divine masculine put things to death. And that is why we're in separation. Until the divine masculine puts things to death. And while that's happening, it's been ordained and divinely, what is that word? I don't know. It's a divine setup, if you will, that the divine feminine will realign his or her priorities and understand the divine plan is far greater than anything they could ever want. And all while that's happening, the divine masculine is learning the beauty and the joy of a relationship. But what's happening truly is they're being broken down. 10 of Wands, 10 of Swords. They're being broken down and beat up a lot in order to get them into the energy of being prepared for union, which is why divine feminine, it's so important for you to really stand in your power, stand in your Empress energy the best that you can, so that when they come to you wounded, worried, afraid, some of them will come in broke down, sad. Very few of you are going to have a divine masculine who comes in not in like Page of Pentacles energy. Most of you are going to experience a divine masculine basically having come out of their dark night, just barely made it, saying, I love you. You're the only thing that kept me going for the past however long. And I'm sorry I did what I did to you. I know I don't bring anything to the table, but if you still would have me. That's how a lot of us come into union. A lot of us come into union where the divine masculines, they probably been thinking about it for a while, but they didn't want to hold us back, you know, again. So let's go. Final deck, final stack. Oh yeah, this is the one with all. Oh wait, didn't I say I thought I knew what this was? Is this all? Yes. I don't remember. Oh, I do. Well, okay, how do I phrase it? I guess we can just say what's next. So I think that this might be the one card or one stack that is not only answering on like an existential, like this is why you keep asking this is what you need to work on, but I think it might even give us a little bit of a sneak peek. Okay, so let's find out. What is next for me and my divine counterpart? Now, again, wherever you are, you got to take this how it resonates, because this is a general reading. And I'm doing a reading now for, 10, 15, 20,000 people are going to watch this. And we have to be sure that everyone understands that not every reading is for you. Not every message in every reading is for you. And so before we even show this good or bad, I just want you to make sure that you understand the power of resonance and what it really means to take what resonates. Okay? So, ready? Here's what's next for you and your divine counterpart. I'm going to start here. Wow. So divine is sending in the energy of, guess what? Time to make a choice. Time to make a decision. You can no longer pretend there isn't a problem. Okay? Look at that. What did we talk about? What was this one again? Who is my person? So it's interesting that we see the energy of the who is my person in of the Two of Swords in the who is my person question. That's where we saw this before. So we also saw this in the divine feminine. So again, I am getting the message here that this may very well be something that's going to be triggered in the divine feminine first. Okay. So divine sends the energy down and says it's time to choose. You can't sit there anymore and pretend everything's fine. You can't sit there anymore and pretend you're happy. Time to choose. What do you choose? What do you choose? So there's going to be an energy of making a choice coming in. How is that going to be received in the, oh, that's interesting. In the 5D, we go from 2 swords to 2 cups. But it's not the 2 of cups. We saw that twice, but it's not the 2 of cups. It's the Temperance card. You see, what's going to end up happening is I think both counterparts are going to say, I can't. I don't know how to choose. I don't know how to make this person see the truth, or I don't know how to tell this person how I feel, or there's going to be something where the energy comes in, and in the 5D is at least enlightened enough, grown enough to say, I don't know. I trust you, Divine. I know something has to change, so I give it to you. Some of you need to say that right now. Divine, I give my counterpart to you. I give my dynamic, my twin flame dynamic, my relationship to you. I give my union, my future, my reunion energy. I give it all to you. Divine, I give you me. I give up. I give up on fighting and trying to figure things out and trying to stay one step ahead. I give up. You can have it. You can have my counterpart. I trust you with my sacred union, Divine. You do it. You handle it. I think that this is an energy that says, choose or else. And for the first time, you pass the damn test. For the first time, you don't move in panic or in fear. You simply say, I know that there will be a new day. I know that I can trust you to choose this for me. It's a trick. It's a trap. Some of you may very well go back into the cycle. It might be written that you have to, where you just are not prepared yet. But I think a lot of you are going to say, okay, you know what? I've tried it my way. I'm going to compromise. I'm going to cooperate with the divine leanings and the divine alignment that I know is supposed to occur. You do it, Divine. You handle it, God. I'm done. Hands off. So how does the counterparts receive this? Do they know that that's what's happening? Are they unaware because the 5D kind of stops it? Let's find out. Whoa. Oh, but it's opposite. Okay. Wait. Oh, wait. This is what came up with the divine masculine, right? Was this the energy? No, it was the, oh crap. I can't remember now. No, it was, oh, I can't remember. I just remember they had a 10 of Pentacles and the Divine Feminine had a 3 of Swords, but hers was upright. This is reversed. Oh, I can't remember, but I feel like, oh, I can't remember. Oh, goodness, I don't know why that's so important, but it just seems like it. But you know what's funny? So here I tell you, I sense kind of death, right? The energy of the divine masculine being the one to step up. Here, the next thing we see, 13, 14, okay? We see temperance. And so here again, we see 13. Separation comes to an end when the divine feminine decides that instead of caring about the divine masculine, look, I put it to you guys like this all the time. Your divine counterpart, especially if you're a divine feminine, most likely your divine masculine is on deployment. Would you every single time let me put it to you like this. Think about the last several times y'all spoke. You know what's funny? Because this is 12. Think about the last 12, 13, 14. What was this one again? When will I come to you? When the battle's over. This is freaky. Okay. Sorry. So let me ask you this. If your divine counterpart was a soldier at war, would you pick up the phone every time they called, sobbing, crying, why are you gone? I can't handle this without you. I miss you so much. When are you coming home? Why haven't you called me sooner? Or would you be sweet and kind, knowing that they have been waiting to talk to you, knowing that they needed you to be strong and sweet and happy and your super fine, sexy self when they called? What would you do? Now think back to the conversations. Just think back to the last however long of conversations you've had with your divine masculine. Were you acting like the soldier's dutiful wife? Or were you acting crazy? I'm just asking. I don't know. I don't know your situation. I don't know you like that. But think about it this way. Your King of Pentacles is out on deployment. You as the Queen of Pentacles are supposed to be at home. You have been left. I think of the slave and the master with the talents. The master gave the slave, gave one slave 1 talent, gave one slave 5 talents, gave another slave 10 talents. A talent is about a year's wage back in the old days. The master says, take good care of this, okay? Make something good happen with this. So the slave with the 10 talents goes out and he doubles it. And the master upgrades him to some high point in the house when he gets home. He says, good job. You did a great job with that. I'm proud of you. The one with the 5 talents, he doubled his. He's not as much as the other guy, but still doubled my, hey, great. Same, awesome return. Appreciate that. Cool. The one with the 1 talent comes and says, oh, here's your talent back. And the master says, what the hell? What were you doing? Well, I buried it in the backyard. I didn't want to lose it or ruin it. That's not what I told you to do. That is not what I expected of you. You know how this kingdom works. Have you let your kingdom fall apart? Have you made more out of yourself? Have you expanded and enhanced your kingdom while your soldier was deployed, Divine Feminine? Because until that's what you've done, there is no coming home for them. You have not done your job yet. Your job was to so when they came home, they were like, whoa, I didn't even know the kingdom could be like this. I didn't even know that we had this much. I didn't know you had this many talents and skills and that you could cultivate this way. You're amazing. You're being asked to stand in your 9 of Pentacles right now so that when the next step comes, the fullness comes with it. When they come in with that 1 single pentacle and that page energy, it doesn't matter. You guys are able to make something really powerful happen with it. Man. But the Divine Masculine, what's next for them? Well, they're going to take this 2 of Swords energy because they don't necessarily, I think, have the... I don't know if it's not having the relationship with Divine or if they just don't understand. I don't know. But I don't think that their first inclination is going to be to just hand things over fully. I think a little bit. But I think the one thing they're going to do for themselves is they're going to try to heal. Mr. Lightwork has been doing this. That's pretty dope. This is actually really cool to see. This is the 3 of Swords in reverse, which says, I've done the job of taking swords out of my heart. The sword and the stone. I'm doing what I can to help myself heal. And so what's happening next for the Divine Masculine is they're preparing their heart for you to come in and nurse them back to health. But if you get, I talk about this sometimes, in first aid, if you were to be impaled with something sharp that goes in, and let's say it's in like that, right? And it's like sticking out, okay? If you take it out, then you don't know what's hit and and you might die, right? Or you might do something bad. Something bad could happen. I'm not going to get into this gross. But if you just leave it in, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to wrap it up and fix it. But you still have to go to the hospital to have them take the thing out and carefully put everything back together, and then they can close it and seal it up. And what's happening is I believe the Divine Masculine has done the duty of going to the hospital. I think that's where they're at now is healing, getting better. And they're going to come home and you're going to be the one to help dress that wound. Oh, dang. I actually talked to Mr. Lightwork about that today. That's creepy. That's weird phrasing. But yeah, you're going to be the one that comes in when they come home and they say, hey, they got it out. They healed me up, but now someone's going to have to help me take care of this. So yeah, you're not going to be the one to take the sword out, but you are going to be the one that after it's done, that helps them heal. And if you are so negative and so angry or so like clingy and needy or whatever, if you're any of those things, you're not going to be worried about no dang wound. You're not going to care. You're not going to help. And if you do, you know what you're going to do? Well, what about my wounds? Well, what about me? The whole time you were gone getting surgery, I was at home worried. What about me? Stop it. Stop. What's next? The Divine Masculine is on a new phase of healing. The Divine Feminine is recognizing his and her power. Divine is moving and allowing things to shift because we finally have decided to let go and relinquish control. That's what's next. But you see what you have to do before that happens, right? So let's get the final message. Wow. Now how many times did we see the Three of Swords? You might be asking why, Divine, why do you keep giving me this energy? Why do you keep like letting me be so sad? And it's like, look, it's because you refuse to heal. You refuse to do what it takes. You want your counterpart to come in and heal you. And you know what? That counts for the divine masculines too, because they sure do look at us sometimes and think, well, if you're so great and so spiritual and you know so much about love, then fix me. And it's like, wait, huh? No, I didn't. Oh, buddy, I didn't say I could do that. I don't know how it works. I just know I love you. Is that cool? And they're like, no. Heal me. Make me whole then, since you know so much. Because they really don't believe it's possible. And when you don't, you got to understand, when they made that request, 1% of them was hoping you would. So now they're mad at you too. Not your fault. Not even their fault. They have a right to be frustrated with the fact that they don't know how to make things better for themselves. At least not at first. But you see, it starts with what? Forgiveness. Healing begins with forgiveness. And so that is really why the sad energy has been on you, if you've been feeling that, or why it comes up so frequently sometimes. How does the 5D receive this? Aww. We're finally ready. Hold on. Something wants to come out. What is it? See it? We're finally ready. We start off slow and steady, but once we get our bearings, we're in there. But first, the healing has to occur. That's what this time is about. That's what this period is all about. So, divine counterparts, what do they need to know? What do we got here? This is interesting. Ace of Wands in reverse to me says, divine masculine, nothing you pursue will ever inspire you like your divine feminine. And this to me says, divine feminine, stop trying to be slick with divine. Stop trying to be all up in your divine masculine's business. Stop condemning them for them taking too long to do their growth. No one was saying that to you. Give them some grace, please. What, baby?
It's only too long because you're watching them.
It's like watching water boil.
Exactly.
Mr. Lightwork said
Watching paint dry.
Watching paint dry.
Water boils pretty quickly.
He said it's not like water boiling. It's like paint drying. Mr. Lightwork says, stop watching the paint dry. Just walk away. You know, it's funny. I finally got my sealant for my runes. I've had these runes sitting on my table for like a week now. My sealant came in. I was able to spray them. And I kept walking over. And I'm so tempted to touch it. Touch it. Look, I'm for real. You guys probably think I'm just joking. I'm for real. Look at these runes. I hope my client doesn't mind that I'm showing you her runes. But yeah, I had to wait for the seal to dry. I wasn't kidding, you guys. I really did runes today. I had to let them dry in the humid Florida air. And I was like, are these ever going to freaking dry? And the answer was no. The answer was no. Because I kept checking. But the moment I just let them go and forgot about them and then went back outside and was like, oh yeah, they're dry. Look at that. And I was able to bring them in. Stop waiting. Go live your life. Remember that the point is that the two shall stand. Not to be worried about the divine masculine and their motives and what they're doing and why they're doing it. And is that really helping you towards your growth? Is that really what you're doing? Do you really think that that's the right decision to make? Stop. You both have things to know that are going to help you become better. I see 111 here. I see divine energy. I see fullness. I see wholeness. All of those things are happening in order. Oh, remember that was the original energy. Oh yeah. The original energy was 333. The original energy was let divine in. The original energy was, how are you coming across to the world? You know why twin flames come across as so toxic? Because we act crazy. And everyone that knows us that thinks, oh yeah, that's my old friend, the twin flame, we act insane. And then we say, oh, well, I don't have anybody to talk to this about. It's like, no, you don't have anyone that wants to hear how obsessed you are. That's what that is. Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Lightwork just made me look.
You getting it?
Okay. Okay. If he's making faces at me, that means I probably should stop. Okay. All right.
You sounded like me.
Well, baby, we're twins. All right. So, wow. I'm going to move on. Mr. Lightwork and I'm going to just do a quick separate video just because I know some people are not going to click into this and watch this. And I want to make sure that the clients who win think, like, if they don't know, they should check their email. So if you guys were interested, I do have I'm going to do it again this month. So just anybody who spends $11.11 or more on the website, on thefierygrace.com, you can donate if you want, but you might as well just buy an exclusive reading. They're all under $12.12. If you purchase anything from thefierygrace.com or make a donation of $11.11 or more, you will be entered automatically this month to win another one of these Master Manifestor sets. I have gifts and gift sets that I've been selling for a year and a half now, but I just don't talk about them. So most people don't know unless they're like just on the site kind of going around. But I decided last month to make one, and I think I'm going to do it again. It's my birthday month, and my love language is gifts. And since I know I'm not going to get any gifts this year because I don't have a family anymore, I'm going to give one out to make myself feel better because I'm weird like that. Makes me feel the same way when I give homeless bags. I don't know, I get giddy. So if you're interested in seeing if you won, if you did make a purchase last month of $11.11 or more, you were automatically entered. Me and Mr. Lightwork are going to draw your names with my fancy new drawing that I do. It's going to be funny. But what up? Welcome. I'm Fiery Grace the Gifted. I am an intuitive life strategist. This reading today was to help you understand some of those questions that you're asking, some of those questions that you've asked in the past about your twin flame dynamic that have made you feel overwhelmed or frustrated or crazy. And I hope that some of the answers that we received today gave you a little bit of insight into your own behavior and also where you can make some changes so you stop asking those same questions to yourself over and over again. I hope that if none of these resonated, but you were here the whole time and you hung out, that you enjoyed yourself in the chat. I always love to see that. If you're interested in, being my friend, you can be my Instagram friend here, Guidance by Grace. And I also have some Facebook pages. I haven't been doing much with them. I'm even considering finding some moderators for those pages, but it just depends. But if you're interested in doing more with me beyond YouTube, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Again, I am not a reader. I am not a psychic. People often say, after I say that, oh, you're more psychic than you know. No, I'm a prophet. There is a distinct difference, but there are similarities, so I understand why you would think that, but I am a prophet. So if you are interested in working with someone who has a gift of prophecy and not the psychic, because psychics, I think, will tell you what you want to hear or tell you whatever you ask. As a prophet, the messages I receive are what you need to know. Okay. And so I hope that you understand that distinction and can respect that aspect of my gift, because I'm not going to be able to tell you what you want like some readers do. I'm not going to waste your time or your money. I have enough clients around the world that I don't have to do that. I'm going to tell you what my client said today, and I want to make sure that none of you ever do this. And I hope if she is listening right now, I love you, girl. And I'm doing this out of protection for all my sisters and brothers out here. My client was freaking out. I don't know why, because once I talked to her for like 5 minutes, she was fine. And it wasn't even because of me. I think she just needed to talk about it. But she sent me an email and she was like, I'll give you $100 right now for 15 minutes. I just need to talk. And I was like, no. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's crazy. So please, you guys, don't let anybody take advantage of you, especially on this journey. Okay. Get yourself a regular reading if you need one. I have a rush fee. You can get on the list, blah, blah, blah. But please do not get that dynamic flowing with any reader or any person really that would take advantage of you for that much time. Now, if that's how much they charge, that's how much they charge. That's different. But please don't put yourself through that, and do not do that with your counterpart either. Do not offer them, the cookies or the goodies just to see them. Don't put yourself in those positions when you freak out. Okay. So if you want to work with me, I have finally closed off all of my long-term coaching contracts. I am now reopening. I have been denying and declining a lot of people who have asked. Again, it is a $1,000 minimum investment. So if you're interested in having a long-term coach, okay, not a one-time reading or a few readings, and you are interested in being able to have a very deeply tailored to you type of dynamic with me in particular, knowing how I am, knowing that I'm going to ask a lot of you and have you step your game up, long-term coaching is now available again. If you're interested in being a candidate, you do have to go through an application process. Again, I'm not just going to take your money because you offer it, okay? I love you, but I'm not. I take my coaching seriously. I've been a coach for over a decade, so I don't play around like that. I offer intuitive tools, handmade blessings. Babe, can you slide me that one? That right there? I also do, obviously, live phone sessions, live YouTube readings, recorded video readings. If you're interested in those exclusives, those can be live. Don't put them all the way in because I don't want to expose this person's stuff. Thank you, baby. I just want to show you guys, when I say that I make like tailored handmade runes, like I'm not an artist, but I'm an artist, if that makes sense. So the things that I make are, I don't know. I'm just like, I just thought these were so cute, and I'm actually kind of sad that I have to send these to this beautiful person because I love them. I've been staring at them for a week and I'm like obsessed. But these are some of the handmade runes that I make. Like, this is an actual set. I just showed you 2 different sets from 2 different people. So hopefully, like I said, I'm not exposing too much of what I can do. But I just wanted you to have an idea of what a handmade rune set would look like, because I know that my runes that I do when I do rune readings, I don't ever really bring them up to the camera. So if you think that it's going to be some, like, I don't know, precise digital, it's not. It's my work with my hands on really tiny stones that I collect over time. So I just want to make sure you know what it is before you ever think of purchasing. So I do offer those, but most people do take advantage of phone sessions, YouTube readings, recorded readings. So everything's on sale on the website. It's all 16% off right now. And then the exclusive readings are still the June exclusives. I have not had time to do those, but I will update you guys. So if you want to get those bonus June messages in, order as soon as you can, because once they're gone, I'm going to make them private and they're not going to be available anymore. You can visit my website. You can learn more about me as a gifted individual, as an MBA, as an artist and musician. All of my information is on my website. So it's not just my services. You can actually learn more about who I am through my site if you're interested. You can email me. Again, if you donated, I think I got everybody. Thank you guys so much for those of you who did. My email is thefierygrace@gmail.com. You can get an reply back that will let you know what the steps or the process of booking is like with me. I accept payments through PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. And again, it is my birthday month. And so if you are interested, I'll put my Amazon wish list so that if you wanted to send me something, you can. So I really appreciate you guys. If anybody's interested in being kind and sending something to someone they don't know, if you don't, I don't blame you. I'm not asking for anything in particular. All right. Please pray for me. Please pray for my book deal. That's what I want. I love you guys so much. Baby, you got anything for the people?
Blessings and love.
Mr. Lightwork has blessings and love for you. I'm out. Actually, I'll be back in a few minutes to announce the winners from last month. Otherwise, there should be a new love letter up tomorrow if the message comes through. I talk to you soon. I love you guys so much. Thank you for liking this video if you're here. And thank you for staying all the way to the end. I love you guys. Bye, Katie. Bye, Sanjali. Love you. Bye, everybody.
My dog.
I know. You love Sanjali. Because she